Hello, my name is Jonathan Rizzo, and I want to end homelessness in Nashville now. The people in this continuum of care are doing amazing things. We have shelters employing radical hospitality. We have outreach teams meeting people where they are and hosting block parties to help feed, clothe, bathe, vaccinate, and groom people. We have representatives from the city, state, and federal government agencies with access to programs designed to support our homeless neighbors in lots of different ways. And we all know it isn't enough. I don't mean to patronize you all, but everyone knows what we need. We need housing, and we need it now. As I look at the efforts of not only this body, but the total efforts of the fight for affordable housing in Nashville, I see a fragmented effort by lots of great people with beautiful hearts trying to solve a multifaceted problem with an array of symptoms. I see a community that comes face to face with homelessness daily and wants to help but often doesn't know where to start. Beyond that, many of us have seen the deaths of our friends and neighbors who needed more help sooner. The housing supply gap shows that the problem has only been getting worse for the past 20 years, and the progress of our work is not keeping pace with the growing problem. The good news is that in her most recent book, Dr. Mary Beth Shin clearly states, "We conclude that homelessness can be ended for all people who experience it, if society is willing to devote the resources to do so." That's why we need to work together. We all have the same goal, but if we keep going with our current approach alone, the affordable housing crisis that creates homelessness will keep getting worse. But again, we all know this, right? Councilmember Suhara asked me to come to the table with solutions. So today, I'm proposing an addendum to the Strategic Community Plan, and I'm asking that you all get together behind this audacious goal, the 2B 10K plan. We, as members of the Continuum of Care, can lead a charge to raise $2 billion to create 10,000 units of housing, and we can start today. The goal of this plan is to use the full power of a public-private partnership to end homelessness in Nashville now, and the evidence that supports this housing-first approach is reinforced by the Finnish model, also in Dr. Shin's book. We need a few hard fundraising pushes, and we need everyone on board. It's going to be fun and exciting. It's going to be on all the radio stations and in all the papers. It's going to be announced at every event and talked about at every dinner table. And money will flow in from all over because we will be the beacon of hope for discouraged communities across the country. If we all fill this funnel together, we can end homelessness in Nashville now. We can achieve our goals. We'll roll this plan out in 4 phases, with phase 1 being present the concept to key stakeholders, raise awareness, and seed funding. That'll be the first 2 months. Phase 2 will be a full funding push and to start building. That will be 6 months. Phase 3 will be to add the supportive aspects of housing and to continue building. That will be 36 months. And finally, phase 4 will be measuring data and supporting other communities. Of course, this will be ongoing. Here's who we need to step up and pledge their fundraising support. We need nonprofit champions. We need faith-based champions in our churches, synagogues, and mosques. We need all the representatives of the City Council to roll up their sleeves and identify 10 candidate properties for subsidies, 10 businesses that can donate, and they need to energize their constituents. And finally, we need the mayor and a champion in his office on board for PR. We need the city to really get behind this. If you can help make any of these happen, please step up. Please start texting or calling your board members to make this happen now, because this is a crisis. It's an emergency. Now, I understand that you might have some questions like, what developers are going to build these 10,000 units of housing? Where will the money be held? How are you going to do the reporting? How are the people going to get a tax break? Who will maintain the housing once it's complete? Those are great questions, and the good news is that there is already a system in place with the nonprofits of the COC, City Council, and the Mayor's Affordable Housing Task Force, among others, for all these things. I envision the money being fundraised by the excited community that the COC, City Council, and Mayor's Office have engaged. Then, the money will be held in a special account for 0 to 30% AMI projects under the Barnes Fund to be immediately distributed. I envision the Affordable Housing Task Force and COC consulting and managing, with the new Affordable Housing Department measuring and keeping track of data. I would like to hand finished projects off with funding attached to the MDHA, Urban Housing Solutions, or the Affordable Housing Department to manage. Again, to do this, we have to raise awareness, and every nonprofit will ideally pledge to fundraise and earmark it to go to the 2B10K fund. 35% of the money will be raised from corporations, 30% from the faith-based community, 25% from COC nonprofits, 5% from local events, 2.5% from other local nonprofits, and 2.5% from other supportive communities. Beyond this, we need to utilize the full power of advocacy that the city has with the state and federal government. The goal is to see results as soon as possible. I know it's a lot to ask of a maxed out nonprofit, but this is what it's going to take to end homelessness now. We need to build. To build, we need to pull on every resource we have. The city, state, and federal money is not enough, but with our collective resources to engage our community, we can do this. The question is, do you YIMBY? Yes, in my business, yeah, because we're excited. We need you to do everything you're doing now, plus this one more huge thing, because we cannot kick the can down the road any longer if we are serious about doing our part to end homelessness in Nashville now. I know I'm talking about something really big here, but again, I would like to ask for this as an official addendum to the Strategic Community Plan, which extends through June of 2022. Thank you. I'll answer questions to the best of my ability.